Hello everybody and welcome back to Conor here. Sorry it's a little bit late. Had a few beers last night to celebrate the magnificent win from Leeds United. And yeah, listen, I'm just here to chat to you guys about what I thought about the game. I'm not going to pinpoint, all these like little elements. I'm sure you guys will pick me up on it, but I'm just going to give a brief overview of the game. Absolutely buzzing. Absolutely buzzing with that. We were incredible. I thought from moment one, we had the bit between our teeth. We were energetic. We were fighting. We were on top. And, I was quite surprised with the lineup at the start from Boro, the opposition, actually. It looked like they had quite a few back who I didn't expect to be playing. I wasn't sure if George Saville was going to be playing. Apparently, midweek, Tavernier picked up a knock, so they thought he was going to be out. Didn't think Britt would be playing either, Britt Assombalonga. Ayala, I didn't know if Ayala would have been playing. So I looked at the squad, and do you know what? I genuinely thought it's not a bad squad at all, that. I know Woodgate said, about the bench, which is... it's criminal when you've only got, inexperienced kids on the bench. But listen, I didn't think it was a bad starting 11 at all for Middlesbrough. Bench, obviously, a little bit weaker. But, so I thought to myself, do you know what? This could be a little bit of a task for us today. Fry and Ayala, I remember the last time they came to Ellen Road, they were brilliant, defensively resolute, and we really struggled to break them down. So I was sort of thinking to myself, I was sort of thinking to myself, that it was going to be a tough ask. Are Leeds going to be playing our stuff? Are we going to be sort of frustrated again, like Derby, like Forest? Is it going to be that sort of game? But it wasn't. We were magnificent. We were absolutely magnificent. We were quick. We were creative. And, in the first 4 or 5 minutes, we were 1-0 up. But we should have been 2 or 3. Ayling, great chance, in and around the box. Lovely left-footed curler, which just went past the post. Then he had another great chance where he should have scored inside 4 or 5 minutes. And you're thinking Ayling could have had 2 or 3 here. I think he had one later on as well. But we were just absolutely dominant. And at last we were clinical. We were able to put our chances away. I thought, and I think that the biggest positive for me during the game was Helder Costa scoring. I told you. That's all I'll say. I told you so. People telling me that he needed to be taken out, all this sort of stuff. I was saying stick with him. He's a quality player. He will come good, and he's coming good. Even Bielsa commented on him last night and said he's getting better and better every game, which is, which I will say I told you so, because I did say that. I said he's going to get better. He's only played 7 or 8 games for Leeds United. He's had numerous chance creations, but, the likes of Click and co haven't been able to finish his wonderful balls into the box, but he is getting better, and I was delighted for him. If you watch the live stream, please check it out. There was moments where I went mental when he scored, because, I'm just so happy for him. The team was so happy for him. And as well, another person I'm happy for was Matthias Click. I thought he started the game a little bit poorly, giving balls away, and he just grew and grew and grew into the match. Obviously got his goal just before half-time. Annoyingly, this stream went down just as he scored, but we rebooted it, and obviously we were treated to another 2 goals from Leeds United as well. And absolutely proud as punch of the boys yesterday. I thought at last, we've sort of got a West Brom-esque performance from last season. We're able to put the team away, and we could be doing that every week. It's not really any different to how we perform every week. The issue with Leeds is we just can't score goals enough. We don't score. For what we create and what we do in a game, we don't score enough. Do you know what I mean? And yesterday it all came together. It could have been 9 or 10-0 again yesterday. Obviously, I'll talk about the Ayling chances straight away. But yeah, Bamford I was buzzing for as well. Really good header at the start. And he had the bit between his teeth yesterday. Was giving Ayala a real battle up front. And Bamford can produce performances like that, where you can just tell he's really up for it. West Brom sticks out for me where he's excellent. Yesterday was another good one. He was all over it. And it's lovely to see, because it's a different Leeds United than what I've seen before. In years gone by, we've had such dross coming off the bench, and now we've got sort of the likes of Nketiah who's back in the fold, and it was sort of roles reversed years ago, with Boro, where Boro were able to bring raw quality on, and it is our turn. It is our turn to have a bit of success. That is if we do go up, touch wood. But I thought it was so nice to see that we were sort of, because I think there's been 3 or 4 years now where, you know, where Boro have come to Ellen Road and they've had a really good squad. And this time, you know, Leeds we just had quality coming off the bench as well, which is great to see. Still got the likes of Adam Forshaw to come back as well. So it was all positive. It really was. And I couldn't pick any faults. Not that I wanted to, but I couldn't. And I guess if I was to be absolutely, you know, completely, if I was trying to pick anything, it should have been more, you know. They just couldn't keep up with us. And, you know, they've still got quality players on that pitch. But it just shows what Marcelo Bielsa's done with this Leeds United side. And I was proud as punch. 4-0 against the Boro side, you know, who have let him fall. I think they've let him fall once this season at home against Sheffield Wednesday. But, you know, they don't concede 4 often. And you could just tell there was gulfs in class between the two sides, which, you know, there hasn't been for many years, which was lovely to see. And in a game where I thought maybe Leeds would struggle, you know, at the start of the season, Boro at home, it's probably going to be a draw, they're going to grind it out. We were brilliant, and, you know, it's turning a bit now for me. We've just got to keep it up, but it is turning for me because the games where I think, you know, maybe we'd draw or we'd lose, i.e. Luton, the game against Reading, where, you know, you're thinking it's going to peter out to a 0-0. Leeds are grinding it out, you know, and the only caution to the wind I would have is the fact that we did that last season with Blackburn and Villa. Do you know what I mean? But there's just something different about this team for me this year, and I'm not going to turn around and say, you know, we're going up, because I didn't do that all last season, because I don't want to get on that. I don't want to be like that, because, you know, I'm just going to take it game by game, because I think that's the good thing we're doing at this moment in time. You know, West Brom are probably seen as the favourites, but the great thing about Leeds is we're just ticking along nicely. Obviously, there's a Kiko controversy, but there's been no real controversies that have followed Leeds so far this season. It's all a bit quiet around Leeds. You know, Bielsa's been here for his second tenure now, and it's all going nicely. Do you know what I mean? It's all coming along nicely, and, you know, we stuck at 40 points, which is a better number than what we were on this time last season, and we're playing some really good stuff, and 5 wins out of 5, that's excellent. Do you know what I mean? What a month November's been. The one negative out of the performance would be Calvin Phillips. Yeah, that was really disappointing. It was a stupid tackle. He didn't need to make it. And you know what? I heard some Boro fans saying it could have been worse. And I bet you would get a few referees making it a big call there. Do you know what I mean? It was sort of reckless. He was off the ground. Yes, it wasn't two-footed. Yes, his studs weren't a bit, you know, under the law. It is when it's reckless, and it was a bit of a reckless lunge from Calvin. You know, we do know. I would say that is one negative of his game. He has got that lunge in him. But, you know, and that's him suspended, which is really frustrating, because once again, it's a big game next week, big game. You know, they're going to turn up. Of course they are. I think they're going to turn up massively. It's a home game. Obviously, last time we played them at home, it was a bit controversial, you know, under Gary Monk and all that sort of stuff. But at home, I mean, at their home, obviously. But, yeah, we've really got to turn up. I'm a little bit more enthused, though, because obviously I think Ben White can play in that CDM role. And you saw when Berardi came on yesterday, I think Bielsa knew that. So Bielsa obviously started, you know, putting White in that CDM role, brought Berardi on to fit into sort of the back line, and that's obviously what we're going to go for. It is a little bit annoying because we sort of have to disrupt that Ben White and Calvin Phillips balance that we have between the midfield and defence, which I think works so well. But yeah, that is a bit disappointing. But I think Ben White will be terrific in there. I think, you know, the worry is, you know, can Berardi step up, you know, in such a big game, because it is going to be a big game. You know, they'll sell more than they'll sell out at the John Smiths, and I think the Cowleys will get them up for it. So we need to be ready for that. You know, I don't think you know, I think we've got to be up for every game, and next weekend's no different really. In terms of, you know, good performances, like I said, it was all across the pitch. I thought Harrison was excellent as well. You know, what I liked about Harrison was he was being direct. You know, sometimes his crossing's a bit woeful, but listen, he set up that entire first goal. Lovely ball in. Bamford knocked it down. Then Pablo put it back in for Bamford to finish it off. But good performance from Harrison, and you know, it was all hunky-dory. 4-0 win, Leeds are top of the league. What we're moaning about. But listen, I'll be back, you know, at some point this week. I'm thinking about doing something a little bit different for the channel, but I'll be doing something this week, I hope. But wait for Joe's review, which is going to be a little bit later on, I believe. If you've liked the video, please smash a like. Smash a like if you're absolutely buzzing last night as well after the 4-0 win. Leeds sort of absolutely killing off Boro's, you know, any hope Boro had of coming to Ellen Road and doing something. Leave a like on the video, guys, and I'll see you in a bit.